I'm Samantha Gladu. I play bass in Piss Test, Macho Boys, a new band without a name, and I also play guitar in The Lonely. And I work in Oregon politics. Sure. Piss Test is the band that I started playing in. I started playing bass about 4 years ago. We're about to have our 4-year anniversary of our first show. And it started really organically. I was trying to start an all-girl band with all new people who had never played before, and it was taking a long time to get off the ground. And then one night at Star Bar, my favorite place, we were there, and Zach asked our really good friend Rodrigo to play in a band with him because Rodrigo had just gotten out of a band. It was a terrible breakup. He was about to retire. And Rodrigo said yes. He was really excited, and they were thinking, who should play bass? Who should play bass? And I had just been complaining for like 30 minutes about how I bought a bass rig and I really wanted to play. And Rodrigo, he said, what about Samantha? We should get her to play. And that's it. We have several records out, 3 7-inches, 1 LP, 2 compilation 7-inches, 1 compilation LP. We toured Europe, we've done a few West Coast tours. And we live in Portland. Crazy road stories. One time we were in Croatia and the guy who booked the show was amazing. He hooked it up so well. He got us the best food ever. He was so hospitable. After the show, he says, let's go to the bar. And we're like, all right, yeah, for sure. And we go to a gas station and everyone's buying beer and liquor. And we're like, well, all right, maybe we're going to sneak it in. And then we end up at a park right next to the gas station, and that was the bar. We were drinking at a park in Croatia in 40-degree weather, and suddenly, Columbo, the promoter, pulls out. Well, he dropped his pants, and it was the most impressive sight I've ever seen. Yeah, Macho Boys is a new band. We started practicing in maybe November. Actually, more like January. And we've played 8 shows. We're a hardcore band, classic, like Minor Threat style, with femme vocals, really badass ripping. The singer, it's her first band ever, and she's killing it. We can't be more excited about our band. We're doing a West Coast tour in August with the Stops, who are the band that made me decide to make the jump from being a fangirl to somebody in a band. Piss Test, the name, came from our singer and guitar player, Zach. He started working in the nonprofit world here in Portland as a UA tester. He literally watched people pee and found out if they passed their drug test or not. That's where it came from. And Macho Boys came from our singer, Takaya. She had this idea at band practice and said, can we name our band Macho Boys? And we all said yes. Oh, yeah. The new band that doesn't have a name yet is me, Rita from the Stops. She is writing most of the songs. It's really, really exciting. Laura, who moved up here from the Bay Area, she plays drums. She also was a singer in the past, so she's got a great ear for melody. She's also a wonderful drummer. And Melissa, it's her first band. You may recognize her when you see her play. I love playing in bands with people when it's their first band. It's a lot of work, but I think that everybody should start a band. It's work, but it's really easy, and it makes things so much more exciting to see a new band at a show. Yeah, I got really involved in politics because I grew up with a single mom who was pretty young. My grandparents raised me. They were really involved with politics. And with both my grandma and my mom, I thought, man, what would have happened if they had more time to themselves, if they were able to just take over, and do everything they wanted to? If they had access to reproductive health care and to make their own decisions that weren't encumbered by religion or education or money. That got me thinking that the biggest thing that needs to happen in society is having more women involved in politics, more women at the table, helping to make those decisions and guide them and push policy in directions that help everybody versus the same status quo. So I got involved there. And here in Oregon, when I moved here, it was so easy to meet somebody like the Secretary of State, Kate Brown, who's now the governor. And there are so many women's leadership programs for policy and politics. And I got involved through that. And then one thing after the other, I was never a member of a party before. I thought voting, whatever. And then I realized how much it matters, because you hear stories like the current governor, Kate Brown, winning her first ever election by 7 votes to the Oregon House. It's crucial that you vote in your local election, and it's so critical that women are at the table. In the most recent session, which was only 32 days, we got through so much. It was really incredible. We raised the minimum wage. We got funding to test the backlog of rape kits. We also repealed the ban on inclusionary zoning, which had been such a long fight. And we also made a plan so that Oregon will reduce its reliance on coal energy. We got through so much, and it sounds weird, but, as a punk, it sounds weird to say that it's so much credit to the Democratic Party. But here in Oregon, we're one of the few places with a Democratic majority, and we would not have been able to do that if it weren't for electing Democratic legislators with a progressive agenda. Yeah, I don't want to rule out running for office, because getting involved with politics here has made me see how easy it is. You can file to be a precinct committee person, which is the smallest cog in a political party, where your whole MO is just to get out the vote and tell people that there's an election coming up and we have these candidates running and we should support them. And school board elections in particular are really important. Just last week in Hillsborough, there was a situation where the school board is split by gender. It's 4 males and 3 women. And they were voting on a critical issue to provide contraceptives, birth control, really, really basic health care. They already have a school-based health center. They just need to have birth control there, right? The 3 women voted yes. The 4 men voted no. So kids in Hillsborough don't get birth control at their schools because of these 4 men voting no. We can't stand for that. We can't have that happen. So we need people in office, and if me running can encourage other people to also run, then yes, I will do it. People need to step up and be there. Thank you so much, Geek B-Roll, for having me.
Cut him loose. He's drinking juice. Pretty sure that